Welcome everybody to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Shoney's Tuesday Night Truck Series here with the Doghouse Racing League on Intensity Broadcasting. Oh my goodness, we got trucks flying through the air. We are here at Talladega Superspeedway getting ready for the action here tonight. 40 laps of hard pounding action here at Talladega Superspeedway. Let's take a look at the points coming into tonight. So leading the points currently is Jonathan Jennings. Justin McMahon sits back in the second spot. Kevin Thompson, Jeremiah Stutzman, and Christopher Leftwich make up your top five. Kevin O'Powell, Christopher Simon, Mike Hayes, Daniel Wilkerson, and Mike Leftwich. Your top 10 with Steve Gerber and Adam Gardner hanging back 11th and 12th. Then you see the battle shaping up there for the 13th position. If it's your first time watching this, they are in the middle of the playoffs. This is race number 3 of 5 of the chase. And you see your chase drivers are highlighted in red on the left side of the screen. You also see them highlighted in red on the ticker as well as it rolls across the top of the screen. Got about 2 minutes left here in practice, and super speedway racing, it's exciting. You're gonna see high speeds, a lot of drafting, a lot of words you normally don't hear, side drafting, energy. Can't do it alone. You're gonna have to have a teammate. So who's gonna be there to help push you to the win at the end? We're gonna see exactly how this goes down here tonight. Of course, I want to thank everybody joining us here tonight, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch. We do appreciate you joining us here tonight. Of course, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Let us know who you're cheering on here tonight as we count down to the end of the season. Right now, Michael Dow, currently the fastest truck on the board in that 197 machine. But here in practice really doesn't mean too much at Talladega. It's all about where you finish. You can see these drivers going from the back to the front to the back within the same lap. So it's all about being there at the end and avoiding the big one. It's not if the big one's going to happen, but when the big one happens. We know the Doghouse Racing League usually doesn't have too many cautions, but here at Talladega, it's always just looming in the wings, just waiting for its moment to strike. And that is the big one where you can see, well, it looks like we're going to have about 33 trucks starting the race, and we could easily see 20 of those trucks caught up in an incident. So in one single incident. So watch here tonight. This could get very exciting. Of course, qualifying just about to get underway. Oh, we see one truck hard up into the outside wall. I believe that was the 81. As here we go, qualifying about to get underway. Five minutes of qualifying for these guys to get out there and set a fast lap and get themselves in a position to start up at the front here tonight. Now we see our first truck out on track. That is the 170 of Jeremy Cootie. 24 on the screen, 170 on the timing. Also see the 76 of Mark Gilbert out on track. That is a great looking paint job. Love the old Union 76 colors. See Ricky Powell out there as well. I'm sorry, Kevin Powell out there as well, excuse me. And our first driver really to go out there and set a time, it looks like it's going to be the 71 Stutzman. Although he's just coming off of pit road. Let's see, our first driver to come across the stripe will be to start their green flag lap. It's going to be Ricky Montgomery. And Talladega, a bit of a unique shape as well, as we can see right here on the track map. You see that red start-finish line. Not where you typically see on an oval, not in the middle of the tri-oval, but just past the tri-oval, which can set up some exciting finishes here at Talladega. So watch for that here tonight. See if that start-finish line comes into play. You see Mark Gerber still out there trying to get up to speed. Ricky Montgomery coming down through the tri-oval for the first time, coming to take the white flag. You see Cody up to the top of the board. Hunter Simpson's currently second fastest. Jonathan Jennings just goes up to the board. We see Daniel Wilkerson, who won at Daytona to lock himself into the chase. Expect to see him have a good race here tonight, as he's always good here on these super speedways. Montgomery now coming through turns 3 and 4, coming down towards the start-finish line. Going to jump down on the apron, try to get this track as short as possible. And no, he's going to come on to pit road, so I take that back. Hunter Simpson goes up to the top of the board, and immediately Mike Sema up to the top of the board in that 44 Cowboys machine. Sema's coming back down to the tri-oval for his second lap here. Down across the stripe. Is he going to improve on his time here? Nope, he's going to go a little bit slower, but he's already good enough for the current pole. Steve Gerber pulling down off the track, and Mike Gilbert across the stripe. He's going to jump up into the 6th position with just 15 seconds left. See if anybody else is going to be able to set down a qualifying lap. Here comes the 93 of Powell. Coming down the short street towards the start-finish line. Time is going to expire, though, so he will not be able to set a time. So let's take a look at our starting grid. And starting on pole tonight is the 44 of Mike Sema. Hunter Simpson to the outside in position number 2. Jonathan Jennings rolls off 3rd with Jeremy Cootie from the 4th position. Then Jason Miz and Mark Gilbert round out row number 3. Daniel Wilkerson in the 7th position. Last time at Superspeedway he won. He'll be rolling off from 7th. With Gary Clune to his outside in the 8th spot. Adam Gardner rolls off 9th with Jackson Lomax in the 10th position. Mike Hayes in the 99, he'll roll off 11th with Mike Ringpus in the 147 from the 12th spot. 13th will be Kevin Powell with Mike Lester Sr. in the 6th machine, rolling off 14th. Then Steve Gerber and Michael Dow from the 8th row. Row 9, we'll see Ricky Montgomery and Christopher Berger. followed by Jeremiah Sussman and Gary Armijo. Justin McMahon in the 20. He'll roll off 21st with EJ Luna from the 22nd position. Ricky Williams and Christopher Simon round out row number 12. Row 13 is Chad Waller and Chris Leftwich with Kevin Thompson and Jeffrey Wimmer starting back in 27th and 28th. 29th, Chuck Cobb with Mike Leftwich in the 60 machine from the 30th spot. And rounding out the field, the 15 of Eddie Rivers and the 5 of Kenny Heath. So 40 laps will be the distance. Stage paying points on lap number 20. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here. Chris Leftwich is excited to go racing. Of course, we want to thank everybody for joining us here again tonight. We do appreciate you tuning in with us each and every Tuesday night. Of course, as always, we want to thank our great partners. Of course, Shoney's. The Doghouse Racing League's Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations and try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Of course, those whole strawberry pies are great for family or office gatherings, holidays, picnics, and any celebration you'd like to make just a little bit sweeter. Of course, we also want to thank our great partner, the Butt Kicker. Butt Kicker is an established and trusted leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. The patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. Check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out which one's right for you. Visit thebuttkicker.com. Of course, on the bottom right of the screen, as always, you see the Adam Strong logo, and I apologize for the wrong logo showing up there on the top right there. Fixed in just a moment. As the field is making their way down towards the start-finish line. Mike Seema is going to lead them down to the green flag. There it is, green flag is in the air. We are racing here at Talladega. They go side by side, down to turn number 1. Mike Seema getting a little bit of a push here from John Jennings, moving himself up into the lead. Hunter Simpson looking for a push now from the 7 of Jason Miz. I'm sorry, that is the 76 of, no, that is the 24, or excuse me, the 173 up on the high side. A couple new drivers here, just trying to get used to all the cars that are out there. So Simpson looking for a push from Cootie here as they come down the short chute towards the trial for the first time. And Jennings with the big push on Mike Seema, keeping that 44 machine out front. And we see one truck way up on the high side. Is the 36 of Christopher Berger, trying to make some moves up there on the high side all by himself. Already moved up 12 spots from where he started, as there's a big gap between himself and the 76 of Gilbert. Thought he was going to duck down inside there, but no, he's going to tuck in behind Gilbert now. But a great start for the 36 machine. So Field goes side by side for the first 6 rows. And everybody on back starting to get a little more single file through the field. A little more spread out. We see that back here. These drivers are anticipating that big wreck. Again, it's not if the big wreck one happens, but when. You see Mike Hayes right now starting to fall back just a little bit. Looks like he wants to get himself to the rear of this pack, put himself in the best position to be here at the end. Up front, the 44 SEMA still up front, but Jonathan Jennings has jumped up to the high side in front of Hunter Simpson. That's dragging that top lane backwards. Of course, you see the push there from Jason Miz. These drivers are allowed to push. You can get right there on that back bumper, give the truck in front of you a big shove, move them forward. That's what you're seeing right here between Miz and SEMA. Now, you don't want to push too hard, or you don't want to be not square, because if you get a little to the left or to the right of center, it's really easy to send that car in front right around. Now Daniel Wilkerson, our Daytona winner, has moved himself up into the 3rd position. As I mentioned earlier, watch for him. He's a strong super speedway racer, and he's showing that right now. And Adam Gardner up into the top 5 as well, up into the 4th position. So it's all about the draft here at Talladega. These trucks push a big wake of air. Think of a boat going through the water, the wake that they make. Well, these trucks make a wake of air similar to that. And when you're tucked right in behind the driver in front of you, you're actually, that driver's pushing all the air and allowing you to use less resistance, which speeds you up. And if you can pull right out of that bumper and push them forward, 2 trucks' engines are a lot stronger than just one's, and that's why you see these trucks in a draft going a lot faster than one truck can go by themselves. Of course, we haven't seen much of a side draft out there for the drivers yet. That is something you can see. What that is again, these trucks push a big wake of air, and if you get right down on the door of the truck next to you, you can actually dump the air, that wake of air coming off your truck, onto their spoiler, slow them down, and pull yourself forward. We might see that a little further on as the race under laps wind down. Right now, everybody kind of taking it easy, showing some give and take. But also allow some drivers to make some really big moves, like we see the 21 of Kevin Thompson, who's currently up on that high lane, working around the outside of Michael Dow. Currently up 13 spots from where he started, up into the 14th position, and continuing to march forward through the field. You see way back in the back here, Christopher Simon dropping to the back here, Chris Leftwich as well, Mike Leftwich, a couple drivers trying to just hang out at the rear of the field, not losing the draft, putting themselves in a position where they might be there at the end. One driver, the 2 of Gary Amijo, has completely lost the draft. We see him running all by himself, and that's the difference in lap times. One driver by himself running 56.5s, and our leader, Mike SEMA, leading this group, running 52.4. So 4-second difference between the pack and a driver by himself. Jennings still up on that high side, trying to make something happen with Hunter Simpson. He has to have that is the name of that driver up there, the new driver. Jeremy Cootie up there in what is the 24 on the screen, trying to make himself move that pack forward. And again, you want to be able to push the driver in front of you, but that's if there's nobody in front of him. That third driver, what he wants to do is just get right on that back bumper not make contact, but just stay close enough where the air bubble, there's a little bubble of air that forms behind the back of the truck, where he can break that bubble and help without actually touching. Because if you push the pusher, it's really easy to send that middle truck right around. Now we've got some 3-wide racing as Gilbert forces his way up the middle. He's getting pushed by the 36 of Christopher Berger. We are 3-wide racing in the middle of the pack here. 96 of Jackson Lomax following that middle lane through as well. How about this? Kevin Powell and Kevin Thompson in that middle lane trying to make something happen. As 76 has now moved himself towards the front and trying to take over the lead with a big push from Christopher Berger. Oh, and Adam Gardner not liking the aggressiveness that he sees. The apron, let the field go right on by. He's going to try to tuck back in line here. He will. Try to keep himself out of the mess as we see Kevin Thompson doing just the opposite. Jumps up to the high side trying to make something happen up there. Thompson's going to tuck back in line behind Powell. The battle for the lead continues to heat up as Mike Sema currently leads. And a push from Jason Miz, but here comes Gilbert up on the high side with a big push from Berger. Looks like Jackson Lomax up there as well. As they are coming up on the lap truck. Lap truck's going to stay up and out of the way like to the inside. And Armijo is going to officially go one lap down. Fortunately, he'll be able to tuck in line here and hopefully be able to stay up with the leaders. Have that lucky dog if the yellow is to come out. Right now there's almost two completely distinct races. We've got our group of guys all running double file, racing hard. And then behind that you see the second group led by, I believe that's EJ Luna on the low side. EJ just kind of biding his time, letting these drivers behind him just follow in line. They're also saving a bit of gas running single file like this. They don't have to use as much throttle, which can save a little bit of fuel. And here at Talladega, fuel savings can make a huge difference. Right along here with Steve Gerber and see the 200-mile-an-hour traffic jam here that is Talladega. So Jennings, who was running up at the front, battling for the lead not too far long ago, now finds himself back in the 14th position, trying to move himself back up towards the front. Back bumper of Mike Sema. And you can see just how close these drivers are getting. You see the push coming now from Miz. Great bump right there. Talk about reaching out and touching somebody, right? That's going to propel that 44 back out in front. The other thing these drivers really have to worry about is temperatures. See if we can ride on the back bumper of Daniel Wilkerson for a second. You see that small hole down at the bottom, just above the splitter? That is the only air that these drivers get to their engines. So tucking up right behind another driver doesn't allow any air into the engine. You can see some cooling issues. You can see some drivers overheating. That can actually cause some issues as well. You don't want to overheat the motor, blow it up right in front of the field, because that can definitely cause a big one. So we're now 6 laps away from the halfway point. Of course, not a sponsor or anything like that, but we do want to bring attention to the Adam Strong logo down in the bottom right corner, which has been on the screen all season long, and it will stay there till the end of the season, of course, in remembrance of Adam Looney, who lost his battle with cancer. Adam's still in our thoughts and our prayers. So still up front is Mike Sema with a big push from Jason Miz. Those two have been inseparable pretty much since the drop of the green flag. And you're seeing why, because they were able to control this race and keep themselves up front. Had quite a couple leaders up on that high lane trying to get something working, and fortunately it just looks like the low lane is just too strong right now. But still a lot of racing left here at Talladega Superspeedway before this one's all over. Speaking of superspeedways, not quite a superspeedway like Daytona or Talladega, but right after this one's over at 9:30, the SCSRA Truck Series, Morris Customs Truck Series, will be taking on Darlington Superspeedway, the original Superspeedway, as they're going to pay double points. So you're not going to want to miss that. Some great racing that's shaping up here right after this one's over here on Intensity Broadcasting. Well, here comes Mark Gilbert with another run up on the high side with a big push from Berger. Trying to take the lead away from Mike Sema. That top lane starting to show some energy. Kevin Thompson up there as well. He's trying to get himself to the front. Not having the start of the playoffs that he wanted. Right now finds himself pretty far back in the hole. Trying to gain some good points here with a good finish here tonight. See a couple other trucks jumping up to that high line. We saw the 71 of Jeremiah Stutzman up there as well. He's trying to go around Kevin Thompson up on the high side. They are 3 wide. And some drivers coming down on the pit road. So here comes your leader, Mike Sema, down on the pit road. Trying to get slowed down to that 55-mile-an-hour speed limit. When you're doing 200 miles an hour, flipping down to 55 feels like you're crawling. That's going to give the lead to the 36 of Christopher Berger. as we are 2 laps away from the stage points. See if anybody else dives down on the pit road. Quite a few more come down on the pit road this time. Look at that. Pretty much the entire field down on pit road. One driver hard into the wall. That's Jeffrey Wimmer. Hard into the inside wall. And pit road is a busy place. There's only 4 drivers left out on the track. One of those being the 66 of Chad Waller, who is, unfortunately, looks like he's lost the draft of these 3 drivers who should be coming in this time by. They don't want to lose too much time. Big lockup from the 0-2 of Ricky Montgomery. Chad Waller coming in as well. So when all cycles around, Jeremiah Stutzman's going to be the leader. Fortunately, he has way too big of a lead over the rest of the pack. As you see, they're just going to gobble him up off of turn number 4. See Rimkiss going, everybody going up to the high side as Stutzman holds on to that low lane. As we get ready to close out the stage here at the end of the lap, of course, our midway stage sponsor is Tiffany Leftwich, and from wax and warmers to oils and soaps, Pink Zebra has you covered. To place an order, visit our halfway sponsor Tiffany Leftwich's page at pinkzebra@home.com/sprinklebutterflies, or you can click the link down below in the description. As we are coming down to the final lap of the stage, Mike Rimkus out front. Here comes EJ Luna up on the high side. He's getting a big push from Mike Hayes as they come down off of turn number 4 and down the short chute. Mike Sema right there as well. As they come through the tri-oval, and here's where that start-finish line comes into play. And EJ Luna is going to win the stage. Mike Hayes is going to come in second. Mike Sema in third as everybody kind of dips back down. Tries to get back in line as Kevin Powell, Jonathan Jennings, and that looks like, I believe that's Jason Miz up on the high lane. Miz up on the high lane trying to move himself back forward as he's now left Mike Sema. Which is surprising because at 44 and 7 were working so well together. And now that they're separated, we'll see if that plays any outcome here, or plays any as a difference maker here in the outcome of this event. See the 6 of Michael Lester Sr. getting lapped here up on that high side. So that will put 2 trucks 1 lap down, and 1 truck looks like he will be out of the race, and that is the 73 of Jeffrey Wimmer. Now we truly do have 2 distinct groups here as we take a look at the track map. You see our lead group here led by Kevin Powell and EJ Luna, as Powell's taking over the lead here up on that high side. As the battle for the lead is starting to heat up here. This is your top 12. All battling for position. And then about 7 seconds back, you have your second group. who are also all battling for position. Figured these guys would have thought of getting single file, try to run down that front group. Instead, they're going to try to race it out and get every point that they can. So EJ Luna, Kevin Powell battling side by side for the lead. Powell with the advantage just slightly that lap as we were coming to 16 laps to go. As laps wind down, these drivers are going to pick up the intensity. We might see some moves being made that we did not see earlier in the race. A little bit of side drafting, a little bit of cutting people off. Of course, always looming is the ominous big one as Kevin Powell and Jonathan Jennings put themselves solidly into the lead in front of EJ Luna. Here comes Jason Miz up on the high side. He's got a push from Gary Clune. They're trying to make that high lane work up there, just like we saw Powell and Jennings do. So now Miz trying to take that lead away from Kevin Powell up on the high side with the push from Gary Clune. Jackson Lomax up there as well. Lomax has been hanging around that top 8 all race long. Just waiting for the right time to make his move. As Miz almost gets clear of Powell that time. Gonna tuck back to the back bumper. So still side by side for the lead. Coming to 12 laps to go. Powell out in front. Almost gives a little bit of room for Jennings to get down underneath. Jennings going to tuck back onto that back bumper as they go around the lap truck of Eddie Rivers. Meanwhile, a little further back, we see about 6 seconds back. This second group continuing to battle it out. Kevin Thompson in this group. He was hoping to have a much better finish here tonight. Hoping for the caution to come out to get himself back up towards the front to have a run at it. Hunter Simpson now leading this second group. Meanwhile, back up front, Jason Miz taking the lead away from Kevin Powell by half a truck length. As Powell's trying to battle back with the push from Jennings down on the bottom. Couple drivers, though, towards the back of this group I would not count out. See the 44 of SEMA here running on the back bumper of Jeremiah Stutzman. So they go around the 36 of Christopher Berger, who was running up front so many laps ago, finds himself now a lap down after getting caught out on the pit stops. Jason Miz continues to just barely lead some laps, but just can't quite clear the 93 of Kevin Powell. So we have 9.5 laps to go here at Talladega Superspeedway. Ooh, big wiggle. You saw that out of the 49 of Gary Clune. He was able to hold on to it, but that's going to check up that top lane. That's going to break that top lane's momentum as we see Kevin Powell now starting to push himself a little further and further in front of Jason Miz. But here comes Miz fighting back on the high side. As this battle for the lead continues to heat up, we are closing down, or coming into the closing laps, excuse me. That time by Miz by just a nose over Kevin Powell. Of course, Powell is one of our playoff drivers, along with Jonathan Jennings, giving him the push. Jeremiah Sitzman, Mike Hayes, Daniel Wilkerson, Adam Gardner, McMahon, Mike Leftwich, all in this group here. I take that back. McMahon back in the second group. Him and Mike Leftwich. Christopher Simon, bunch of our playoff drivers caught back in this second group here. As Jason Miz was finally able to clear Kevin Powell, he was able to bring along the 49 of Gary Clune. And now Lomax trying to do something on his own as the yellow flag is out. Caution is out on the track. And that is going to bring up our wreckage rewind. As we try to see exactly what brought out this caution. Bear with me for a second, trying to Pinpoint. What actually brought this out? Well, not sure exactly what brought out the caution. But most of the field making their way down pit road. So with 5 laps to go, Daniel Wilkerson is your leader. We're going to have ourselves a green, white, checkered finish. Daniel Wilkerson up front. Adam Gardner in the second spot. Ricky Montgomery up in the third. Steve Gerber in fourth. And Chad Waller, your top 5. Jason Miz, the first driver off of pit road, back in sixth. Mike Rimkus in 7th. Gary Clune, Jackson Lomax, and Kevin Powell round out your top 10. So with a little break in the action, again, we want to thank our great partners here tonight. Of course, Shoney's, Doghouse's Racing League's Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Shoney's open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations and try their freshly prepared, legendary breakfast bar, or take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's, delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Of course, we want to thank our great partners as well, including The Butt Kicker. For all your gaming haptic needs, visit thebuttkicker.com. And not just do they have gaming haptics, they have haptics that you can put in or around your couch for music and movies. So a whole lot that they have to offer. You can check out their entire line at thebuttkicker.com. Also, there's Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Check out raceepi.com. There's a link down below in the description. Along with our web store over at intensitybroadcasting.com, where you can find hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, a league apparel, some novelty t-shirts. It's all there, so you can check that out at intensitybroadcasting.com. Again, links down below in the description. We want to thank our halfway sponsor once again, Pink Zebra with Tiffany Leftwich. And lastly, we want to thank all of you for joining us here each and every Tuesday night. As the season winds down, we have just 2 more races to go after this one here tonight before we crown ourselves a champion here in the Doghouse Racing League. So we're not going to have a green-white checker, but we will have a 3-lap shootout. Daniel Wilkerson going to be your leader. Adam Gardner to the outside. Row 2 will be Ricky Montgomery and Steve Gerber. Row 3, Chad Waller and Jason Miz. Row 4, Mike Rumkus and Gary Clune. And round out your top 10, Jackson Lomax and Kevin Powell. We are about to turn the volume knob to 11. Pace car getting ready to take that hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Wilkerson approaches the restart zone. Green flag. Is back in the air. We are back racing. And a big jump for Daniel Wilkerson and Ricky Montgomery, which, again, at any other racetrack would be a good thing. But here at Talladega Superspeedway, that's a hindrance. We'll see if that hurts them here on this start, if the field is able to get formed up and drive right on by. Adam Gardner sits in that third spot. Caution is back out on the track. Able to find this one here as we see Michael Dow and Chuck Cobb. It's a little bit of contact between those two drivers. That spins the 197 right around. Ricky Williams able to go around by. Justin McMahon as well. So just a single car spin brings out the caution. So Daniel Wilkerson now makes his way down onto pit road. He gives up the lead to the 0-2 of Ricky Montgomery. So Wilkerson was not going to make it to the end. We'll see if Montgomery and Gardner have enough fuel to get to the end. So next time by, the lights on the pace car will be off. And we will be going back green flag racing. Of course, as I mentioned, the end of the season is quickly approaching. Just 2 races remain. Short track, Rockingham next week, The Rock, followed by our final race at Homestead, Miami. So with the season coming to a close, we take a look at the points coming into tonight. See Jonathan Jennings currently at the top of the points, currently sitting back in the 9th position. McMahon sitting in 2nd. He is way back in the 23rd spot. Kevin Thompson in 3rd. Find him back in 17th. Jeremiah Sutzman in 4th. We find him back in 13th. And your 5th place driver, Christopher Leftwich, we find him sitting back in the 25th spot. So your top 5 nowhere near the front, not maximizing points here tonight. As the lights on the pace car are off, we're going to re-rack them, restack them, and refire them here at Talladega for a green-white checker. So we are half a lap from going green flag racing here again at Talladega Superspeedway. Who is going to find the magic here to push them, get a push to the front to get the win? Only time will tell as we get ready to set up a restart. Ricky Montgomery down on the bottom. Adam Gardner to the top side. Chad Waller and Steve Gerber in row number 2. Jason Miz and Mike Rumpius in row number 3. Gary Clune, Kevin Powell, row 4. Jonathan Jennings, Jackson Lomax, row number 5. Pace car pulling down onto pit road. Again, it's a long ways down to that Geico restart zone. See a little bit of damage to the left side of Adam Gardner's truck. We'll see if that comes into play here as the green flag is back in the air. Gardner not getting off the line as well as he could have. That's going to give Ricky Montgomery a big lead as they come down into turn number 1. Here comes the 66 of Chad Waller coming down to the inside to give a big push to the 02. But Adam Gardner and Steve Gerber hooked up on that high side. Here comes Mike Rimkus on the high side as well, trying to offer some help. They are 3 wide coming down the backstretch. Jason Miz making a move up to the top side, leaving Rimkus alone. Here comes Gerber with the dive down to the bottom, trying to get down underneath Gardner. They're 3 wide for the lead. Miz up on the high side. Here comes Gerber into the lead as they come through turns 3 and 4. Off of turn number 4, down to the tri-oval with the white flag flies. The yellow flag we put away, but here is the yellow flag. One truck up on the roof and flipping. That looks like it was Michael Lester Sr. We did see the white flag, though. So that is going to end the race. Let's bring up the yellow flag here to see exactly what happened in the back here. Lester just got turned around, went up into the outside fence, lands on his wheels. Now it looks like Steve Gerber was out in the lead when the yellow flag came out. We'll have to check to make sure this is indeed the end of the race. But man, what a crazy finish as Steve Gerber pushes his way up to the front, making it 3 wide to take the lead. And that was the race-winning move for the 8 of Gerber as they are coming down through the tri-oval. Checkered flag is in the air, and Steve Gerber is your winner here at Talladega Superspeedway. And what a way to win here in the playoffs. Ricky Montgomery brings it home in second. Chad Waller brings it home third. Jonathan Jennings and Mike Rimkus going to be your top 5. But it's all about Steve Gerber tonight getting the win. So he makes his way all the way around the track to celebrate at the start-finish line. And Steve Gerber and Ricky Montgomery making their way down to the start-finish line. As Gerber gets ready to burn him down here and celebrate his victory. As our couple drivers here on the front stretch doing some donuts, disappearing into a cloud of smoke, and we will take a look at our results. Steve Gerber getting the win. Ricky Montgomery brings it home second. Chad Waller, Jonathan Jennings, and Mike Rimkus round out your top 5. Just want to make sure I've got the right results here. Yeah, so Steve Gerber wins. Ricky Montgomery, Chad Waller, Jonathan Jennings, and Adam Gardner round out your top 5. Mike Hayes comes home in 6th. Jason Miz in 7th. Jeremiah Stutzman 8th. Kevin Powell and Christopher Simon round out your top 10. Gary Clune brings it home 11th. Jackson Lomax in 12th. Kevin Thompson, Mike Sema, and Jeremy Cootie your top 15. EJ Luna brings it home in 16th position with Hunter Simpson, Kenny Heath, Justin McMahon, and Mike Leftwich rounding out your top 20. 21st was Ricky Williams. 22nd, Eddie Rivers. Chris Leftwich in 23rd. Daniel Wilkerson back in 24th. Michael Dow in 25th. Christopher Berger 26th. Chuck Cobb, Mark Gilbert, Mike Rimkus, and Gary Armijo round out your top 30. Then Michael Estridge Sr. and Jeffrey Wimmer round out the rest of the field here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. As we get ready to talk to our top 3 here. Maybe. Give them just a moment more while we see if they make their way into the waiting room. Of course, we want to thank all of our great partners here tonight, including Shoney's. Shoney's being the title sponsor, and the Doghouse Racing League's Tuesday Night Truck Series is proud to be sponsored by Shoney's. Open daily for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Stop by one of their West Virginia locations, try their freshly prepared legendary breakfast bar, and take home a whole strawberry pie. Shoney's delicious food and friendly service since 1947. Of course, we want to thank the Butt Kicker as well for all your gaming haptic needs. Check out thebuttkicker.com. Check out Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. And of course, IntensityBroadcasting.com to support us with all your league and Intensity merch. Well, none of the drivers have made their way to the waiting room tonight, so it looks like that's going to do it here tonight on Intensity Broadcasting. Again, congratulations to Steve Gerber getting the win here tonight at Talladega Superspeedway. A great win here in the playoffs. One of our playoff drivers. We look forward to seeing what they can do next week at Rockingham. Don't forget to join us right after this one, as the SCSRA Dev Sports Car Truck Series will be taking on Darlington Superspeedway. Tomorrow night, the SCSRA Truck Series will be taking on Watkins Glen for a doubleheader. Thursday night, we got Thunderstruck back in the house. And then Sunday night, you can check out the INSS Street Stock League, brought to you by H2O Well Drilling. So check out all the great action here on Intensity Broadcasting. Don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. As our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over